Welcome to the Fine Arts at Rider, where things may appear small, but they're actually larger than you think. I'm your host, Nico Paleologos, and before we get to our show today, we'd like to hear what the students at Rider have to say about fine arts.
The Fine Arts program here at Rider has to offer a lot of different plays and performances that all Rider students can take advantage of, which is pretty cool.
Well, I'm a philosophy major, and I'm a freshman, so I don't know much about the fine arts performances or shows per se. So the fine arts department really doesn't mean that much to me. But like, if they have dance shows or something like at the other campus, then I'll go because I'm a dancer.
Fine Arts at Rider offers me culture on the campus.
Fine Arts at Rider offers me a chance to get out of my room and experience cool things like shows put on, such as Live with Saturday Night, Alpha Psi, stuff like that. It's really cool.
Fine Arts at Rider offers me the opportunity to go see Rider dances with the band.
Fine Arts at Rider offers me a chance to see my friends perform in the theater.
Fine Arts at Rider offers me the opportunity to meet real-life writers and directors.
Fine Arts at Rider gave me the opportunity to go to Arts Abroad, which is awesome.
Fine Arts at Rider offered me the chance to see real quality plays and musicals at Rider. I enjoy musicals a lot, so it was really cool to be able to see it and see some of my friends perform in them.
Check this out, come on. It's gonna be good.
And now, the Rider dances.
Here in the Yvonne Theater, Dr. Kim Vaccaro and the Rider Dance Program get set for their annual performance, Rider Dances. Rider Dances is in its 5th year of production, and Dr. Vaccaro talks a little bit about how the program got started.
Part of the goals and objectives of the students who come here are to be performers, so it's natural to have a performance component inside the curriculum. There wasn't one before I got here, but certainly it was something that needed to happen.
With 35 Rider students participating in the performance last year, one of the great benefits they have is the strong connection between the Princeton Ballet School and Rider University's dance program. One of this year's choreographers, Caitlin Berardi, talks about that connection.
One of the great opportunities that I've had while at Rider is to work with people in their company, American Repertory Ballet. Last year, Kristen Scott, one of the company members, came to Rider and choreographed a piece on several Rider dancers, and she actually performed in the piece with us.
Going back to last year's performance, Kristen Scott played a major role in the charity work that was done behind the scenes. Dr. Vaccaro talks a little bit about last year's performance, Rider Dances for Africa.
Initially, we were just going to try to raise $1,000 to staff an AIDS clinic in the town nearby because most of the orphans had lost their parents to AIDS. But we earned the $1,000 the first weekend that we started the project, so then we thought, well, maybe we'll buy a plot of land so they can grow their own vegetables.
Dr. Vaccaro also made an interesting connection with an airline stewardess who had a very promising charity of her own.
She wanted to set up a business that rented clothes, and the proceeds would go to the orphanage. So she founded a merchant in town that would accept any donations of clothes that she could get, and then she set it up so any profit that was made, part of the profits, would go then to the orphanage.
Last year, Rider Dances was able to raise over $35,000 for their charity in Africa. This year, Rider Dance Ensemble and the Princeton Ballet School are set to perform Rider Dances for all ages.
One is called Dance Power, and again, that is affiliated with American Repertory Ballet, our partner, and they bring dance to every single 3rd grader in New Brunswick for an entire year. And we have interns working with them, with the 3rd graders in New Brunswick. And then here in Trenton, there's a group that is an offshoot of the National Dance Institute called TEDI, Trenton Educational Dance Institute. And we have interns working with Dufton Garcia there.
Besides the programs that are going on in Trenton and New Brunswick, Rider Dances for All Ages has some family connections this year.
The song I chose for my piece is called Say by One Republic, and I actually chose it around the time when my grandfather passed away from pulmonary fibrosis.
With her grandfather in mind, Caitlin and her family have added their own charity to this year's performance.
Because I'm using my grandfather as one of the inspirations for my piece, I wanted to raise money for the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation, in which my family has established a fund in his name. So we made bracelets that say Respira Facile on them, which is the name of my piece, which means breathe easy in Italian, because my grandfather was born and raised in Italy. And we'll be selling them at Rider Dances and donating those funds to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation.
With their charities in line, the Rider Dances for All Ages gets set to open its curtains in March. We look forward to seeing their performances. Reporting on the Fine Arts at Rider, I'm Matt Metzger.
I recently had the pleasure of speaking with Nicole Lorenzetti, the president of Alpha Psi Omega Riders Theater Fraternity. Hello and welcome to the Fine Arts at Rider. I'm your host, Nico Paleologos, and today we had the pleasure of meeting Alpha Psi Omega's Fine Arts president, Nicole Lorenzetti. Nicole, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. What drew you to the Fine Arts at Rider?
Well, I heard that there was a great program, for one thing, and it's one of the only schools that acting scholars are offered a full scholarship. There's 2 full scholarships a year. So that was something that definitely drew me to the program, because they clearly think that theater is important on this campus.
Very nice. And what do you feel that Alpha Psi Omega is offering to students as an extracurricular activity?
Well, I think it's great because it offers more opportunities for students that don't have a chance necessarily to get onto the main stage or the faculty-produced productions. It gives us another opportunity to do shows with larger casts, and kind of do things that we're interested in for our own purposes, not just for the university itself.
And you were recently elected as the president of Alpha Psi Omega, correct?
Yes.
And how do you feel that it benefits the organization that you are now on the board?
I just think that it's good because I have a lot of experience doing both technical stuff as well as acting on stage. So in that sense, I have the ability to be more of like a more well-rounded, I guess, theater student in that I've done both sides of every situation kind of thing. So. And
what's the relationship from the faculty to the Alpha Psi organization?
The faculty is great, and they support us 100%. It's great because when we propose our own shows, we go to them, and a lot of times they're willing to give us all kinds of advice from a professional standpoint.
And does each concert have their own theme?
Yeah, each year we do a different theme. This year's theme is going to be related to movies, and it's going to be different aspects of movies put into movement, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Very cool. And how does one go about getting into the organization of Alpha Psi?
Basically, we just ask that you come to our meetings at the beginning of the semester. We have meetings every Sunday night at 10 o'clock. And we have a pledge process like any other service organization, but it's pretty minimal. I mean, we're a theater club, but we have a good time.
Very cool. Okay, Nicole, thank you so much, and back to you guys at the studio.
Let's hear what opportunities you can have with the Rider Fine Arts outside of the U.S.
The Arts at Rider allows any student to be able to express themselves and gives many students the opportunity to get involved even outside of the classroom. Over winter break, for 12 days, students are given the opportunity to travel to Europe and experience the arts abroad. Frank and Joe. The Arts Abroad is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that gives students the chance to be culturally diverse and learn about the arts through European eyes. MJ Giovannucci is going to the upcoming trip, London and Prague, and has been on 2 other Arts Abroad trips.
I think my favorite part out of all my Arts Abroad trips would definitely be the moment that I was at the top of the Eiffel Tower and I could see down and see everything below me. It was just like breathtaking.
While MJ is an Arts Abroad veteran, this is senior Katie Oldenburg's first time.
I'm really interested in the other cultures of the world. I've only been to Europe once, and I just thought it would be a great opportunity to be able to go to London and Prague in one shot. And if it's considered a course, I think that's even more awesome, that you're actually getting credits for going and seeing this crazy thing that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
There are so many fun things to do abroad. For example, during the trip to Greece, students enjoyed a huge dinner as well as live entertainment. Rider students were given the rare opportunity to get up on stage and dance with some Grecian belly dancers. It's great to experience the students' perspective of the Arts Abroad, but Helga Leuenberg, the trip's travel agent, has been traveling with the Arts Abroad for over 20 years.
The cultural experience, the possibility to be exposed to a completely different environment, struggling sometimes with the language, are all very important experiences. So that's what I think about travel in general and about this program in particular.
While the Arts Abroad is a class, students have plenty of free time to themselves, and they almost always wind up having the time of their lives.
The Arts Abroad trip, I would say, is definitely worth every penny, and I'm looking forward to going in January, especially because we're going to Prague, and I've heard so many good things about it.
I think it's a great opportunity, and I think that I saved up my money for the right thing, and now instead of blowing all my money on a week of vacation partying in Cancun, I can go and I can enjoy 2 other great areas where I don't know if I'd be able to go otherwise.
For more information, contact Laura Luck at extension 5168. This is Brooke Goldstein.
Closing time, open all the doors.
Hi, are you okay? I found this in the hallway. Is it yours?
Yeah, it's mine. I have a huge test, and I feel like I don't know any of this stuff. I'm so stressed out.
You should have the tutoring center. I'm a tutor.
Welcome back. Matt Metzger had the pleasure of interviewing the Dean of the Fine Arts Department, Dr. Patrick Kamel.
Thanks, Nico. Appreciate you throwing it down here. Here in the Yvonne Theater with the Director of Cabaret, Dr. Kamel. Dr. Kamel, thanks for joining us here on today's show.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it. So, Dr. Kamel, why did you choose to do cabaret for the musical here at Rider this year?
I decided to do it when about a year ago, in a very large lecture hall of theater appreciation students, I asked the question, I said, raise your hand if you know what the musical cabaret is. And with 100 students, about 5 hands went up. And I thought, okay, now's the time to do that.
What was it like working on this performance from beginning to end?
We had an entirely different approach this time. And so it was, this version is much riskier than the one that we did in 1994. So we actually began, 3 of us, 2 students, my assistant director and my stage manager and I began meeting last June on this stage and talking about the possible ways we might think about staging it differently this time. And I did have a tape version of the 1994 one, so we looked at it and said, this is, this is not the way we're going to approach it this time.
Dr. Miguel, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate the time you took out to talk with us here on the show. Break a leg. Good luck. Nico, back to you.
Here's Nicole Larson with the Rider Vibes.
You think you know, but you have no idea.
Okay, you can probably bring the mic down.
True Life, the Rider Vibes.
Rider Vibes is Rider's only a cappella group on campus. We sing different songs from newer to more update songs to like classic oldies, and we do them with a different kind of style, which is a cappella, which means that there's no music behind us. It's kind of just our voices, and that's all you hear.
We have auditions about once a semester, if not twice. So there'll be another audition next semester. Earlier in this semester, we had auditions where people would come and they would sing 16 bars of their own music a cappella, of course, and we would figure out their range and just see how they fit and blended with the group.
The president is responsible for booking the rooms for rehearsals. They're also in charge of booking the BLC Theater for the concerts, and they're also just responsible for doing anything that has to do with student government or getting equipment, stuff like that.
As music director, I am in charge of all the rehearsals. I run them, I choose what we do at rehearsal. I help create like the parts that we actually sing and the performances, so a lot of the stuff is actually created by me, along with the help of the other members of the group.
Boxing brings the Rider Vibes. It's like sometimes it sounds really simple without the beatboxing, and you can add like drums and snares to it, and it just brings a really rich like sound to the group.
The Rider Vibes mostly performs top 40 hits. We're trying to perform more things that are hits on the radio right now, current hits, but we also do a lot of oldies, a lot of things that are a cappella music based, but we try to take a lot of things that are hit music now and transform them into our own ideas. Some of the songs we're going to be doing some Billy Joel.
Live Your Life by like Rihanna, and excited for people to see how we mixed different songs together, some older songs with some newer songs that had the same underlining beat, as well as just some different songs that we've heard and that we thought would sound kind of cool together. We've done a lot of that this semester, which is something that is fairly new to the group. So it'll be cool to see how people actually react to our new mixing abilities. Life is a maze, and love is a riddle. I don't know where to go, can't do it alone. I try just because I'm in love with an upset girl. So I don't hesitate no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate.
Wait, who are you? Oh my god, again.
What's up, dude? Third time this week. Oh, nice.
It's that time of year again. The pumpkin beer is back. Enjoy a nice cool glass of beer. While supplies last. Triumph. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that?
We're gonna teach you how to do proper lighting in a bathroom. In order to get a proper coloring for your camera, you must white balance before each use. Make sure to hit the white balance key on your camera. Without the proper lighting, your set will look like this. With one light, it will look like this. With two lights, it will look like this. on the top will give you a nice flood feel. We will now show you how to put a light on a stand. To have the light on the stand, you must tighten it by screwing the knob clockwise to tighten. Spread the legs of the light stand and place them on the floor. Raise the pole and tighten it. Grab a friend if need be. It is always useful to use more lights. Sometimes the facility will have weak lights in it. Make sure to turn the on button in the back, and you are ready to go.
Now you know! And now with student films at Rider. Students at Rider talk about just what it takes to make a student film, including one student who directed a documentary.
Rider has offered me a lot of freedom doing directing. They let me do Scarab and Alien Head, which is a really crazy show. I wasn't expecting them to let me to do something like that. They really give you a lot of freedom to do what you want to do, but you have to be willing to go out and do it. You can't just expect other people to do the work for you. You have to go out and get that experience yourself. I mean, they offer you a lot of latitude in what they let you do, but you have to be willing to go out and do it yourself.
The hardest part of directing a student film, I'd say, is to get everyone's schedules together. It's really hard when you're in school and working and also trying to make a film to get everyone to come at the same time and to be available at the same time. It's really hard to get everyone's schedules together.
I did another student film this semester called Complete Low-Budget History of King Arthur. Everybody had different schedules, everybody had different things going on, and it was nearly impossible to schedule. I thankfully didn't have to do a whole lot of the scheduling for this film. I had a producer named Anna Marie who was also in the class who was helping me out with it, but scheduling is probably the worst part of doing a student film.
I think that it could have gone better. I wanted to go back and reshoot a few things, but as I started with the new semester, I had new projects that I was taking on.
We're doing the story of Colonel Edward Hampton, the American Revolution. We went into this, we just thought the simple part would have been just get a bunch of guys to do the war reenactment. We thought there's tons of groups, they'll just come out and they play around and fire every day. So we thought that would have been the easy part, and historians at the beginnings have been hard to get. We found it the opposite. Getting the historians to talk about hand, we have a lot, and more as we come, like, so you got to do this guy, this guy, this guy. It's getting the reenactment, which was tough. As we got the first PA, it took about 4 months to get them. We got them, but the redcoats are another story.
I liked a lot of the scenes, but my favorite scene is the scene where we're in the hallway and we're filming the shadows against the background. And it was the big kiss scene where they were supposed to be kissing and the director keeps interfering. I thought that was really fun to do. The early morning shoot was good too, except that I was really tired and everybody else was really tired, and that was all around not that enjoyable.
Our favorite part was actually doing the battle scenes, because it's so fun. And it's you don't know what to expect. You're just like, okay, we're in the woods and we got guns. We're just having fun. And we spent 6 hours running around firing off these guns, which now they weren't live, so nobody got hurt. But it was just cool. You see you see how fast they'd have to load them, and of course the guns they were using back in the day would take 90 seconds to 2 minutes to actually load and fire one shot. And so they'd have to do the staggering fire, so they would always have a shot going off.
Finalize your script before you start shooting, because if you start shooting and then you change things, scenes that you take you're not gonna use them, and it's just gonna be a waste of your time, basically. So finalize everything that you want to do in the script beforehand, and if you want to make a film, then make a film. It's not hard. Ask someone for help. If someone has that expertise, they'll be very willing to help you.
You're driving down the same road you drove a million times. Your phone has a new text message. You pick up the phone and start typing. That's when it happens. You get in an accident. Texting while driving is not only stupid, it's not safe. Turn off your phone while driving.
And now, let's learn about the performances at Brownwater.
We're We're here down at the Brown Water in the Ryder BLC. We're interviewing Erica. Can you tell us a little bit about Brown Water?
It starts at 9:30, usually lasts till about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and anybody can just go up there and do their own thing, spoken word, music, anything, comedy, anything they want.
How many Brown Water nights have you think you went to?
Probably everyone since they've had them at this school.
Do these singers represent Rider University?
Yes, I do think they represent Rider University very well.
What do the arts offer you?
The arts offer me a chance to see everyone being creative and doing their own thing and just watching your friends and your peers just have a good time and express themselves.
This is Jason Kroon reporting from the BLC.
We hope you support your fine arts at Rider. Thank you for watching. This is your host, Nico Paleologos.